following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Video guys, today to follow up on that thumbnail video that I did, I'm going to use the robot sketch that we did on that last video. You can check it out. I'll link in the description above, put a little icon there so you can check it out. In the artist cave today, we're going to take that robot sketch that I did and kind of add to it. So what I did is I took the thumbnail, I clipped it out of the thumbnail sketch and then blew it up. So it's going to look a little blown out because I blew it up to the size of the canvas, and we're going to put a little bit more detail into it and show my process. This is going to be a little bit more in depth than the speed drawings, because the speed drawings I go straight from sketch to kind of like a final draft and then I color. But I wanted to show a little bit more detail and how I go about it. So let's get started and hope everybody's ready. Uh, uh, yeah, I took a nap when I got home from work, so I am kind of wired right now. So I guess it's the best time to draw. So let's go ahead and again apologize for the sniffles here. But let's pull up Sketchbook Pro here. As you can see here, this is the sketch I did of the robot. Nothing crazy. So the first thing I always like to do is just lower the opacity of the layer so that we can still see the sketch underneath. And what we're going to do is just create another layer here. I know the webcam portion is kind of covering the layer editor. So I'll move it over here just so you can see the different layers that I'm using. And then we're just going to zoom in a little bit here. And one of the things that I struggle with, and I think a lot of people struggle with, is hands and feet. So instead of starting at the torso or head like I normally do, just for today's video, I'm going to start at the limbs, just so we can get an idea of, how I draw the robotic limbs. Because it is a blown up sketch, if you use the pencil tool, it might not show up as thick. So this is not too bad. The reason why I wanted to go a little bit more in depth is when you draw hands, especially robots, you can kind of go a little crazy. You don't have to follow anatomy 100%, especially because, as you can see on this robot, he is not very anatomically correct. So that's okay. One of the things that I'm still learning how to do is using the multiply feature. So what it does, it kind of creates a layer over the drawing. As if you keep multiplying the layer, it'll create more and more layers. This is gonna look really rough. I like the pencil tool here because it kind of has that ballpoint pen feel, and I feel for concept sketches, it looks really awesome. Like some of the concept art for Metal Gear Solid is in that ballpoint pen or brush pen look. So I think it lends itself really good. Nothing too crazy here. Obviously, clenched fist. Not trying to go Liefeld route here. A lot of you comic book fans will get that reference, but back in the 90s, Rob Liefeld was known for whenever he drew characters, it was always like clenched fists and feet out of frame because I don't know if he really had trouble drawing feet, but he would always try to cover it up somehow, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. in art you got to play to your strengths. So, good for him for finding a way around it and then finding a career with it. So, kudos for being able to play to your strengths. And obviously, his strengths was drawing way out there stuff. So, whenever he drew Cable or uh, Deadpool, he would kind of go nuts with the body shape. Uh, there's this iconic picture of Deadpool and Cable, and it was super anatomically correct, but it did look super cool. So, um, yeah, that was uh, growing up in the '90s. Seeing those kind of comic book covers was crazy. It definitely made you want to buy the book. Uh, Looking back at it now that I know so much about art, you kind of cringe a little bit because you were copying that stuff as a kid. Uh, so just laughing thinking about it. Just sitting there during lunch class or lunch after class, and everybody has their comic book that they just got, and we're all trying to sketch what we had. And I was a big fan of X Force, and I loved I loved Bishop from X Men, just because he was always like hulking and always like super cool. He had those long Jerry curls. uh, but yeah, you see, I just got like a basic sketch of what I would like the arm to look like. One of the uh, little tricks that I like about drawing digitally is, let's say you want the other side to look identical, you can actually grab that whole image, copy it, and then we can paste it. And now you have the same limb on this side. Obviously, it's facing a different direction. So what you can do is you can grab that same image. So this layer, it's only going to grab what's on this layer. You see, it's not grabbing anything underneath. And you can flip. Uh, do it. Nope. One. Undo button is an artist's best friend. So what we might have to do. Nope. I guess it's not letting me do it. No worries. So what we can do is, oh, it's another layer. Never mind. So we'll just flip mirror layer. No. Well, no, that works because so we'll just turn that around. There we go. I knew I was missing something. There we go. So obviously I made it a little bigger, but just for the sake of the video, that's about right there. So now we can combine the layers, and now it's one image. So then we'll go back to the pencil tool, and now we're going to work on connecting these arms. Now, a nice way to... Nope. Why is it doing that? Oh. See, so this canvas was originally... I turned it around because in the last video, everything was horizontal, but now the picture is vertical. So we won't be able to use the symmetry tool, which is okay. So we'll just have to sketch it. And I'm going to use my middle point here. And then we'll create the top half of the body. Uh, Obviously, we'll do a little backstory for this robot. This top piece is going to be where all his main components are kept. So that's why there's gauges there to kind of rate uh, fluids and gears, mechanical units, what have you. We'll put a stasis tank here. Obviously, we'll make this kind of like maybe a surgical robot that can help with surgeries or medical equipment on the field. So maybe this container will have some sort of IV fluid that can hook up to a little component here. This knapsack in the back can have IV bags. And obviously in the finished sketch, you could even put like a medical symbol. So then these shoulder pads here are in case it gets fired upon. So I already have like a, and that's like I said in the last video, when you do concept art, you kind of come up with these ideas on the fly. Obviously, when you work with someone, like another a writer or collaboration artist, they're probably going to have a backstory already for characters. But if you're working by yourself and you're just creating a backstory for a character, um, you can kind of go with the flow. Obviously, without the symmetry tool, it's not going to be completely symmetrical, which is okay because, like I said, um, this is kind of like the next step from drawing a rough thumbnail. Is we're just going to do a rough sketch here. Like I said, when I do the speed drawings or sketch cards, I go from a rough sketch straight into a final sketch. But this is going to go from thumbnail to rough sketch. And it's up to you if you want to have like dangling wires or exposed equipment showing here. And then we got the mid body here. And if you, whatever the way you want to show the face of the robot, I'm a big fan of like one-eyed robots, because obviously, especially in the case of fantasy, robots really don't need peripheral vision like humans. So what you could do is you can make a rotating camera type eye here. Hell, this can even be a drone. So there's probably someone on the other end controlling it, or maybe it's an AI controlling it. You add communicators. That's why I'm a big fan of Neil Blomkamp movies like Chappie and Elysium, and I think it was District 9. The way he draws but they film robots. I love those movies, and I am so excited that he's doing the next RoboCop. And it's a continuation. It's not, a reboot or anything. RoboCop Returns. I try not to get excited about new movies because I'm probably gonna go out on a tangent here. Obviously, I'm a movie buff, but I try not to get excited about new movies because it end up disappointing me or a director leaves. But yeah, I have obviously huge influences. Like Tron's one of my favorite movies of all time. I actually have Tron Legacy and the original Tron over there. I watch those movies so much. So I have a lot of influence with sci-fi, and obviously Akira is a huge influence on some of my art. And Dragon Ball has a lot of robots. Early Dragon Ball stuff. Obviously, when they started going the Super Saiyan route, they were more about martial arts, which I'm okay with too. So I'm making the midsection really thin. I guess it adds to the aesthetic of the character. So when a robot is very top heavy and then they have a thin midsection and huge hips where the legs connect, it gives it that eerie looking robotic look. I don't know if that makes any sense. Artists usually don't make sense when we talk. The kids in my class get a kick out of it because I go off on these tangents, and I'll sit there for like 10 minutes and not even draw, just talk about video games. And because you know, I love other media, and you kind of have to be a fan of other media if you're an artist, because you have to draw influences from other things, you know. And some of my biggest influences are martial arts movies, sci-fi movies, cartoons. So here I'm kind of creating like a little accessory pouch where obviously we've come up with the idea that this is going to be a medical field robot. So this medical field robot is going to have a bunch of, you know, maybe this is pain meds. This pouch has syringes. Here, maybe this is like a e-tank. Energy. No weapons on this robot because obviously it's a medical robot. It might have like a defense mechanism somewhere. Maybe this backpack will make it. This one right here will be like some sort of maybe this right here will be like a force field generator. Pack right here. We'll just make it just a tank. Here, just put the little gauges that I added on. You know, you can remove stuff as you go along. Add some little action lines or distress lines, just so that when you get to the phase that you color, you kind of know where the metal's gonna be. And you could even add some wires coming down here. Obviously this is gonna look way more detailed later. This is just to give you an idea of where things are gonna go. Excuse me. Alright. My allergies get super crazy down here. Obviously there's it's so cold in my cave. I'm still torn between calling it a cave or a fortress, because it is nice to come down here, and you know, my kids come down here from time to time, but it is nice. I suggest every artist have a place where they kind of go to just get their get a place to kind of recharge, be able to just come up with stuff, get away from the world. And art is one of those things where it's not just talent, it's also, I feel like it's a coping mechanism, because life can be rough. Whenever you draw stuff, it feels like you're creating a universe where you make change. You know for a fact that one of the biggest reasons why I love shows like Dragon Ball, Ninja Turtles is good guys always prevail. It shows that hard work, you can always get somewhere by putting in hard work. That's why my slogan is keep it over 1,000. You don't ever want to hit the ceiling. You want to keep going. Dragon Ball, one of the pieces is characters just keep getting stronger and stronger. Unless you're Yamcha or Krillin. See, those characters never get any stronger, but oh, I'm going off on a tangent. But like I said in the last cave video, just kind of going with the Ed 209. Robocop is there. Excuse me. Just to your best of your abilities, just try to look at that leg and thigh and calf, copy as much as you can. So when I do these lines here, obviously it's to mimic metal circuitry. It's running through. So I also wanted to take a chance to thank all of you for helping the channel just grow. I would have never thought that, you know, a year ago when I started making YouTube a priority, that my channel would grow as fast as it has, and it's all thanks to you guys and gals. I'm almost reaching 800 subscribers, which is mind blowing. So what I wanted to do is when I hit 800, I was going to give away a piece of original art for my portfolio, or, you know, it's going to be up to the winner. Just create a piece for them. That too. So what I'm going to do for the giveaway is I'm just going to create a stream. Just going to randomize some numbers. Piece of art. It's a thank you. To me, this has been such a great way to interact with people. Because for a while there, I didn't think I was going to be able to. The fact that so what I did there is I copied the layer just to make it a little darker. For a while there, I didn't think I was going to be doing stop going and put so many things on hold. So being able to share all this with you guys, it's been such a if I can't draw, I can't. I know a lot of artists out there probably feel the same way. Just need to get out there and do stuff. Work on that a little bit here. So this is just a quick sketch here. Obviously working on the thumbnail. Next video, what we'll probably do is take this image now and then sharpen it up, add a little bit more detail, and hopefully even color it. I'll leave it up to you guys. Put it in the comments. What would you like to see next with this character? If you would like to see me color it or even add more detail to it, even with the sketches, it's going to be completely up to you. The artist cave is a way for you guys to interact with what I draw, and at the same time you can see my process without it being sped up 20 times fast, and you get more time to see and hear my ramblings. Just add a little bit more here. So the backstory is this is a medical surgery field unit. MSFU. Alright. Magnet. Thank you everybody for coming on. Don't forget to leave a comment, share, subscribe, and look forward to seeing more of these artist cave videos, and I'll have some more speed drawings in the future, and then keep an eye out for that giveaway video. Once I hit 800, obviously I'm gonna let everybody know. If you hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. Maybe I'll make it a premiere event, so it kind of lets everybody know at that moment, because I don't want anybody to miss out on original art. And I want to thank Gamer Thumb TV and Your Player 2, the Checkpoint Show, and Not Another Game Collector. They've been huge supporters of the channel. And also Wawiya, thank you again for all the support last few months. So check out all these channels that I've listed. You'll see them in the comments because they're huge supporters of the channel. Again, thank you, and don't forget, keep it over 9,000.